Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhbl.com for short. Already laughing and smiling, I guess, because of course it is they made what into a TV series. We are talking Halo Season 2. Can you believe it, folks? The penultimate episode of Season 2, second last episode already. This has flown by. I cannot believe this time next week we'll be finished again.
I know. And then we're going to have to wait another year or two for potential season three.
Who knows on that regard? Who knows? We're waiting a long time for season 2 as well. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've still got an end to enjoy. And even if we never see another thing out of Halo after this, I will reflect on this show overall as satisfying, and particular how well season 2 has been done. This is, of course, episode number 7. Thermopylae, obviously mentioned in episode 6. So now this episode focuses on it completely. This is a packed episode. I actually, on my first watch, kind of sat down and went, whoa, slow down for a minute. I couldn't believe I even thought that about Halo, because the last thing we want is it for it to slow down, really. But I was like,
Mm.
whoa, this is moving a mile a minute. Like, I almost want to say they rushed parts of this. Like, that's a negative I think I can say. They rushed part of this. It felt like they were like, no, we need to get to this specific point and we just need to get there now. And I was like, no, take your time with this part. But it's a minor complaint because I also don't want Halo to drag its heels.
Yeah. I get that myself too. Literally, I mean, effectively, everyone's story sort of came to conclusion. Well, not conclusion, but almost conclusion. Everyone found what they were looking for.
I get that. It's gone where we predicted, which was that we would be wrapping this season up at Halo, and that was where we're getting to. It's kind of how it wasn't. We weren't entirely sure how they were going to get there, but they found a way. So we begin the episode where we kind of left off. Well, obviously at the end of episode 6, McKee and John were both about to touch their separate keystones. We immediately jump in as John and McKee are on the Halo in that shared vision that they have.
That's, that's one thing I want to praise Halo about here, because too many shows they end in a cliffhanger and then the episode starts with something completely different. This show, it always continues off where it left off,
Yeah, I think
which
you're
I'm,
right. I think you're
yeah.
right. I think we do normally just pick up directly where the last bit was.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's cool. They talk, and accusations about Reach are thrown about. And McKee points out, well, look, John, if you could have destroyed High Charity, if you could have wiped it out, given a chance, wouldn't you basically done the same? And he doesn't answer, but we all cut. I know what he says. It's different. It's like, shut up, you mug. It's not
Yeah.
different. It's the same. McKee tries to convince John that neither humanity nor the Covenant deserve control of the Halo, and she wants to take control of it instead, convinced that they can use it for good. That's a classic tale, isn't it? Isn't
Uh,
it? We will control it. We will use it for good. Are you sure? Easy
yeah.
there, Anakin Skywalker.
I know. That's Boromir. It's Boromir from Lord of the Rings.
It's that as well, isn't it? Yep. It's a classic tale.
Yeah.
Before they can continue, though, they're both surrounded with Covenant forces pulling McKee out of vision, with John also being snapped back to reality. So when she gets pulled out, it snaps him back, and it causes a shockwave throughout the Oni headquarters at Onyx, including our favorite thing, a group of grunts getting flung backwards. I think that's like what they've done the most in the season, is had people on wires getting
Mm.
yanked backwards at force. I never get tired of it though. I love it. On the Arbiter ship, the mutiny is still going on, and McKee grabs Cortana and runs with that priest in pursuit. He follows her to a room where McKee hides, and Cortana appears, distracting the piece, allowing McKee to bless him. Now, I'm doing that because it's not really it's a blessing, I guess, in some way, but she kills him.
Yeah.
And with him now dead, Cortana reveals that she's mapped the route to the Halo ring. On Onyx, Ackerson is with Perrin Goski. And if there's one thing I adore about this episode, it is the direction they take Ackerson in. Called it. fucking
Mm.
called it.
Yeah, but
Um,
you know what? Parangoski is she's such a brilliant villain, but she's not a villain. It's like you said. She she's actually doing sort of the right thing, but she's like doing it in a villainous way.
Oh, we might disagree on this then.
Ooh.
I think they've moved Parangoski into an almost supervillain state of
Mm.
affairs. And whereas before I could see shades of grey in decision making, there is no shades of grey when you are sending people to their death for that's it. It's basically World War One shit of just sending troops over the trenches while the commander sits and sips champagne in his tent. That is why there's no shades of grey. If she's not leading the battle, she's sitting in a war room, sending people to their death for what? To stop the Covenant getting control of something over them. That's not the same to me. I think the way she behaves now, she has
Yeah.
stepped into it's full villain. Like this is a clear villain because even the Covenant have the shades of grey. The Covenant believe in an ideology, the same as the UNSC and ONI. So there's two sides of the same coin there. Whereas Parangoski, what she's doing or what her goal is, I struggle to find justification in it. And that's why Atkinson is starting to that's what Atkinson is starting to discover, learning what it means to be in league with the devil, as Parangoski makes it clear to him that, hey, should John's version of events of Reach get out, e.g., go deal with the Master Chief, you'll be the fall guy. And it's just the way she says, after all, basically, I'm not even in Oni. How can I be held responsible? And it's like, there's your villain, Damon. That's the villain.
I love that. I love that because Atkinson's face is like oh shit, she's right. I'm taking orders from someone who is not even a part of the program.
Yep, but not only that as well, or at least officially part of the program.
Mhm.
But you know what? As much as I like the character. This is what you call this is karma. This is
Mhm.
you getting yours for what the decisions you made or the decisions you went along with. Because what Ackerson is beginning to realize is that he's no different to John
Yep.
in that he blindly followed orders.
100%.
The conversation turns to the Covenant fleet, which is on display in the war room. They have gathered, and there is some unknown energy source amongst them. Is it a black hole? Parangoski doesn't think so. This is where I was like, whoa, slow down. This is where I was like, slow down. How the hell did we get to where we're just at the Covenant fleet and they've all gathered? Like that felt really fast.
Yeah. You see, at first I hadn't realised that they'd gathered at the correct location. I thought they'd gathered together, ready to head to that area.
That's what I thought. But obviously,
Yeah.
they what it is they've tracked the Arbiter's ship to
Mm.
that's it. So like this is all it's I mean very fast.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've no real complaints because I can't see how this could have been done slowly beyond, oh yeah, we're tracking the Covenant fleet as they're moving through space. La 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 la. Do you see what I mean? Like it kind of
Yeah,
just had to be done.
and with only like one more episode left, they had a lot to fit in.
They do. She orders Axon to ready the Spartan 3 troops for action. However, he's not happy because he's like, look, they're not ready for this. This is not the combat scenario they've been preparing for. And Parangoski insists, look, we're deploying them anyway and sends Ackerson, go deal with Master Chief. Talking of which, John continues to wander through the base and our favorite annoying woman returns. It's Captain Briggs and a squad of troops here to take him out. She orders her team to shoot John, but he stands his ground and reminds the troops what it means to be a soldier and about following orders. Obviously, not particularly loving the fact that they're being ordered to shoot not just anyone, but Master Chief. They lower their weapons and leave, except Briggs, who who just will not let this go and readies to shoot John. I think she doesn't like him personally because she's
Yeah,
definitely, you know what I mean?
jealousy, man, jealousy.
I don't know about jealousy, because what's to be jealous of? I just don't. I think she just doesn't like him.
He's Master Chief. So wherever you go, it's Master Chief. It's not her being a sergeant or lieutenant or whatever. It's Master Chief. He will forever be the hero. He'll always be the one who talks about it. He'll be the one who gives you the boost, the confidence, the
You're doing you're doing your reach thing there. You're jumping to something that has never been shown or suggested. I just
Well,
think it's simple. She doesn't like him.
I'm suggesting it because that soldier basically knew if I kill Master Chief, I will forever, ever, for my entire life, my family's life, this will never, ever be let down.
You reckon? What?
Oh
Why?
yeah,
Where did you get that from?
100 because of what John says to the soldier.
John, yeah, but no, but it's John talks about following, yeah, about no, it's not, but no, it's not. I don't think it's specifically about killing. Oh, I'm going to be killing the Master Chief. It's the fact that my order is to kill someone else who's in like it's like
I
no
don't think
different.
it would make no difference at all because that's the same team who covered up the Colbert deaths, the
Yeah.
exact same thing. So
Okay.
there's no problem with doing that.
Okay. I think I think I'm a big fan of show me, don't, and
Mm,
show or tell me, show or tell me. It doesn't do either, so that's why I'm saying a reach. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really
yeah,
matter anyway because Briggs is the last one there. Before she can do anything, Kai arrives and knocks her out. So yeah, but we knew this was coming. Meanwhile, because we're cutting constantly between different areas, in the caverns beneath the base, Halsey and Miranda are discussing location and are bickering over what it is. It's the Forerunner complex, but what the Forerunner complex actually is it a library? Is it a church? Does it really matter? And Miranda then reveals that filling in the gaps in Halsey's earlier research made unlocking more of the complex possible. And Halsey confirms the thing she found in her original research confirmed that both human and Covenant DNA were on the site. Both
yeah.
sides were here. In the Oni War Room, Parangoski orders the first wave of UNSC ships to engage the Covenant fleet. And this goes about as well as you could expect as they are wiped out. I mean, we don't see it, but we just see the little lights go out. And it's like, oh, well,
Instantly,
that went well.
instantly, yeah.
And this is why she's the villain, because she just immediately orders a second wave to go in. That's where she's the villain. You are throwing human bodies, actual people, at a wall. You're not changing your strategy. You're not even thinking of a strategy. Your idea is it doesn't matter how many people die as long as we complete this mission. That
Mm-hmm.
is fucking wrong. That's not how it works. I know we often like to do the whole greater good, do the greater good thing, but the
Mm-hmm.
greater good here doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, particularly as what we will find out regarding the spike. It's
Mm-hmm.
we don't want them to have this thing that we don't even really know what it does.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And our Atkinson isn't happy, objects. He's basically like me, baffled as to the strategy of sending wave after wave of troops to die. And like I said, she's willing to sacrifice every last one of them as she's convinced the Covenant fleet is closing in the Halo. She thinks that energy source is Halo. Meanwhile, don't forget about, I don't know, the forgotten. I suppose it's easy to forget them. That are forgotten characters in this show now. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of them is, considering what we're doing. So I was a bit like when we jumped to Soren and Liara, I was like, okay, is this to kind of slow things? This is where we slow it down just briefly, you know? Uh,
Yeah,
let's speak objectively here. Do you think this is working, the Soren and Liara side of things? I'm not entirely sure it is. And the reason being is because, for me, we literally go, here's Soren and Liara, here's 1 minute, and then then that's it. It's not like we need to do more. They're doing this
mhm.
story with Kessler. How many minutes of screen time has Kessler had over this entire show, do you reckon? I reckon no more than 5 to 10 minutes.
About that, yeah, about that, yeah.
That's not enough for me to care.
It's not, obviously we'll talk about it as it goes further into their story. But I've got a theory with sorry and Tuzo.
Oh, so don't give me some out there theory.
Oh no, it's a pretty standard. I mean,
Okay,
pretty. Yeah.
fair enough. Okay, cool. Oh, when we get to the end part of that, we'll discuss that then. But Sora does tell Liara about some of his childhood experience in the Spartan program. That's interesting because that
Mhm.
develops the character because we learn a little bit more about the Spartan program. She's confused as to why he's sharing this, and Soren basically reveals that this is what Kessler's being put through now, and he kind of wants Kessler to go through it. And I was like, I get it to a degree. I can see his thinking. He thinks it might toughen him up. It thinks it might connect him with his son in a way and stuff like that. But, mate, you're saying that to his mother? Unsurprisingly, she's like, hell no. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So back with John, who's basically now looking for his armor, obviously. And Kai, him and Kai share some words. Kai rightfully kind of points out to him, look, man, let's not forget about your mental behavior, which is why some of my choices were made. Yes, I made a mistake. She even says, I made a mistake. That's what being human is. Yes, John, making mistakes and learning from them and repenting from them makes us human. Absolutely. I swear he forgets, like, he's really forgetting a lot of that sometimes in this. And very much so. And it does take things like Kai saying that to kind of remind him, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like he's reverting back to the pellet days with the where he doesn't even care about it. It's about the mission.
He's just angry. He's
Mm.
just angry. At the end, I'll tell you where I believe things are going. In regards to Master Chief. I'm not, and I'm going to call him, and when I reference that, it's Master Chief because I'm not going to be talking about John. I'm going to be talking about the symbol that is Master Chief. Meanwhile, Halsey reveals to Miranda that the hybrid human covenant DNA is what led her to create the Spartan program. Candidates exhibiting traces of that DNA. There we go.
Yep.
Easy as that. Quan, who's there all the time, kind of in the background. Have they wasted Quan in this season?
100.
She's.
Especially as she seems to be developing these. I don't know. I'm going to say these abilities, but I think she should have had a lot more.
I disagree with your term ability. It's not an ability, it's a connection with
Yeah.
like the light. It's Final Fantasy Life Force stuff, Damon. Go back to season 1 where she was visited by her ancestors and things like that. Call it abilities if you want. I mean, abilities exist in this world because of course we've got the Spartans. But what my issue is that I feel like Quan's just there, right? In this episode in particular really shows it, where she's just there to help things move. She's the MacGuffin. We need a way to move it along. Oh, Quan had visions and we can use that. And don't get me wrong, it works perfectly fine. But I was a bit like, yeah, you really haven't done a lot with her in this. And here's the thing. I don't know what they could have really done with her because this season was all about Reach and all about the Spartans and all about Halo. Where does Quan fit into that? She doesn't.
Well, if they do a season 3, I think she'll fit more, especially as she's having visions of this flood thing. So
I agree. I think there's more to come in the future with her potentially. She's looking over the cave and some of the Forerunner machines, and with listening to Halsey and Miranda talk, points out, reminds, hey, yeah, she kidnapped kids. But I did love the fact that Halsey's reaction to that is basically, yeah, all right, classic Halsey. So what did Miranda's research turn up? A disc, a circular disc. And while Halsey looks it over, Quan runs her hands over the complex, like the door, like what looks like a door, like a vault door. But one of the stones in it lights up when she puts a hand over it. Ackerson, who makes a discovery at the same time as we do. He's running simulations regarding the spike and discovers that the devices aren't actually designed to shut down Covenant ships, but rather they're effectively bombs. They will generate and create a massive explosion that will wipe out everything around it. The Covenant fleet, the Halo ring, and why Parangoski is a villain, every UNSC ship within its range. He's horrified. And this is where you hypocrite. You hypocrite. This is where, as much as I love the character, he deserves to get his to some degree. Mate, this is just Reach. That's just which you were okay with. Well, you weren't okay with, but you justified. Why are you not justifying? Why can you not justify this?
yeah, yeah.
I know you really like him. I know you really like him, but I'm not so quick to forgive. Now, there is a way they can recover this character, I do believe.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, they were coming at the end of the episode, but Yeah,
All right,
come on.
we definitely have debates over that. Okay, but before then, he's about to leave the room because he's obviously going to confront Parangoski, and unfortunately for him, he opens the door to find Master Chief and Kai waiting for him. And John grabs him by the throat, lifting him up like he's a baby, and demands to know where his armor is. Of course, there's a bit about. Here's the thing, and here's where John still has control. John could have just killed him in an instant, but he doesn't. He makes his threats to do it and stuff like that. But Ackerson kind of begs John and Kai to listen to what he's learned. He reveals what he's learned about Parangoski's plan. It's basically, and her plan is summed up like this: either she gets the Halo or nobody does. That's villainous. There's a great scene with Halsey and Miranda about the death of Jacob. I love that scene. Great acting from both. While this is going on, Quan activates the stone and it produces a star map projection. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Nothing really happens though. But she uses her visions from earlier in this season basically to rearrange the constellations to match his. And it's a classic thing I've seen before where this isn't a map now. It's a map as it was when, and because stars move, things move during over time. So she moves
Yeah,
it to match the configuration of when it was active in the Forerunner's time. And that creates a halo ring, which moves towards the vault door and then opens that room. And I got super excited here because I was like, this is where we're going. Like, I they haven't we know what the Halo what Halo is. We know what's there. We're now really moving in that direction. So I got very excited, particularly when Horsley uses a disc to open another door and they go inside a room which is basically a laboratory. And I went, yes,
yeah,
this is where it's going to start to go wrong. And in there, they even find a deceased scientist. I really like how they did this, where they kept it like curled up like a fetus. So you couldn't
yeah.
really see what it looked like or anything like that, but it is holding something. And interestingly, and this is when no one asks us any questions, the lab is set up to self-destruct should someone try to gain entry. Why?
Yep.
It starts to self-destruct, and Quan, Halsey, and Keyes barely escape. We do get a great scene of Halsey kind of stopping on the collapsing bridge or the disappearing bridge to view what looks like a fucking city.
Yep. 100%. Yep.
And there's a great scene as well. Miranda gets Halsey to move by calling her mum, and it kind of knocks Halsey out of her sort of like, you know what I mean, like her a trance almost to escape.
Yeah, because I'm sure that's the first time she's called her in the series.
Yeah, I think it might be certainly, and it's good because it can't. It I think both are going to be important characters as we continue on.
Mm.
Meanwhile, Master Chief is reunited with his armor, sharing a moment with Kai when he looks over Vanek's armor about Vanek's death. And it's good. I really liked how he did it. I liked how Chief really makes it seem darker than it is, but also more important. Like Vanek was confused, and I thought back to how he looked on his face when he sort of looked. Like death, like he was confused.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like that's such a really cool thing. It's like, yeah, of
right.
course he'd be.
Of course, 100%. Yeah.
But Kai and John are going to have to separate because Kai won't let her Spartan team just be thrown to their death. She's going to go lead them. Whereas John says, look, I can't come with you. I have a separate mission. He doesn't say what his separate mission is, but we kind of gather he's got to go to the Halo. Before they separate, he demands that Ackerson, you are living because you are going to tell the truth about what happened here. Ackerson's like, no one's gonna believe me. And John, this is where I love these characters. John's like, I'm the proof. The moment I walk out there, I am the proof. And that's all you need. And with tears in his eyes, Ackerson doesn't say it, but he effectively agrees to do it. He kind of up against it here. Because he says that I'm going to be destroyed. And John's like, this is the price you will pay. There has to be a price to be paid. When a soldier kills someone and maybe they didn't mean to or they didn't want to, the price is what it does to you. This
Yep.
is Ackerson's price. And that's where the character can be recovered, is he has to pay the price, Damon. He has to pay it. and he has to spend the rest of his life repenting, however it is, be it from a prison cell, be it from working with the UNSC in a positive way, working with Chief, whatever it is, he has to pay the price.
I think I'll pay the price, but I don't think I'll be a prison cell. I think
Then he hasn't paid the price.
I think I actually think that he'll be one of the I'm going to call like a leader of the resistance. Like
Stop there. What are you talking about? A leader of the resistance? This isn't Star Wars. There is no resistance. It's two
yeah, no, but
sides.
I'm calling it as the resistance. I mean, because you have Perengoski and her side, and you're going to have John and
Right. So you think that's going to stay? You think it's going to stay with John separated from the UNSC?
I think so. Yeah, because
Right. We
there's
have
no
a
way.
right. We will come back to this at the end because I know where this. I genuinely believe I know where this is going, and I
Mhm.
think you're really wrong about one thing. Absolutely wrong, and that changes the entire story. Because your story heads in a very different direction to what my story does. So that's why we'll come to it at the end and see what we both think. Okay. But yeah, love him. I think we've said it several times throughout these reviews. Ackerson, Ackerson. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just great character.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100.
And I don't here's the thing, Damon. I don't want him out of the show. But I
Mhm.
also want his penance to be done in a way that satisfies me as a viewer. Outside the vault, Quan realizes, seeing the expanding star map and watching what looks like a spread and links it to the premonitions of a monster, the monster, and basically panics, runs and says, "We've got to leave here and go." I love it because
Yeah.
I know enough of Halo to know exactly what this is, and I do
Mhm.
wonder, like, oh wow, like if you don't know nothing about Halo, you're not really getting told anything, but there are hints that something way worse than the Covenant and the UNSC war exists in this world, and we're now walking. They're all sleepwalking, blindly walking into the biggest threat of everything.
Exactly.
Love it. But Miranda reveals that she took the thing that scientists had and hands it to Horsley. Meanwhile, on the Arbiter's ship, the Covenant fleet have tracked them. And I was happy because it's like, yes, this is glad you cut back to them actually realizing this and this being a thing because the moment the Arbiter's ship left orbit, they'll, like looking out the window going, hey, hey, where's he going?
Where's he going? Let's follow him.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So like immediately they would not have let him get away. It's coming under fire from the Covenant fleet. And McKee kind of, she's desperate for a vision. And weirdly, the Arbiter kind of tries to comfort her here. He
Mm.
reiterates his loyalty to her. But then, like, I don't know, in a moment where she kind of, like, and this is, I guess, I also think McKee's leading into a much more villainous phase as well of her
Yeah.
character. She
Yeah.
brands her chest like the Arbiter. And he says, look, like, he tries to stop her. He kind of goes, like, as if to be like, no, don't. And when she does it, he's like, well, now we're bound together because we both obviously have the same symbol on us. But she says,
Mm.
no, we're bound to the halo. And I'm like, that's where your path goes.
Yeah.
Your obsession. But also, when she finds out the truth, isn't that going to destroy her?
100.
It is not salvation.
No.
On Onyx, Kessler's Thermopylae training session is starting. Like I said, this is where this random jump to this just feels, it just doesn't hold my attention. Because Soren's
Mhm.
watching, that kind of thing. But he seems to change his mind. He ends up intervening, beating up the attackers. But during this, Kessler, seeing this, is kind of traumatized by the violence. And the last sort of scene we see is Liara grab him and walk away while Soren kind of just watches on. I understand what they're trying to do here. I do get it, but I just I needed a bit more time with it. Maybe as it develops, it could be because I can't work out what they want us to focus on. Is it Soren's inability to ever really leave the Spartan life and the program behind him? Or is it the fact that he can't connect to his son because he can't be a father? Does that mean like what are we trying? What do they want us to focus on?
Yeah. I mean, it's out of all the stories, this is obviously the lower point of the cycle because we haven't got enough
Yeah,
information about
it's
it.
it's that there. I will say I really, really like Soren. I really do as a character.
Go on.
I like Liara as a character, and I want to like Kessler as a character. That's the thing.
Mm.
On the Onyx base, John visits Corporal Perez. He's in full armor, folks. He hasn't got his helmet on yet. That's going to be, I guess, the last episode. But he visits Perez. I gotta say, you want to talk about where we criticize perhaps them not doing enough with Soren and Kessler and Yara. I think they've done enough with Perez to make her feel like an important piece of the machine.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that I can't see her being a character who dies, but you know, she has seemed to be bumped up. Like she's like now like one of the main characters. And she's in that category. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you, right, let me do an out there prediction. You want an out there prediction? Um, I think she'll end up potentially joining the Silver Team,
Hmm.
taking Vanek's place. Now, you might think, but she's not a Spartan, she's not augmented and stuff like that. That leads into a direction that I think the show's going. But we'll get, I think I want to cover that at the end.
Yeah.
Perez obviously really happy to see Chief, and this is where it all fell into place for me. She is very happy to see Chief, and she's kind of like, "You're coming with us, right?" And he's like, "I can't, got my own mission," and her disappointment, and also she tries to persuade him, pointing out that they see you, the moment they see you, it will lift them in a way that, like, that's important. And I think John doesn't get that yet. And this is where I understand what I think I get it. I think he's going to realize that. I think he's going to realize that Master Chief is more important than John. Master Chief is more important than revenge. Master
Mhm.
Chief is more important than bringing Oni down. Yes, make the people that are responsible pay, but do it the right way and be the symbol, be the fucking leader. That's what I think it's going to go. And that's where I think you're wrong. I think Parangoski has to fall, and she will fall. But
Yeah.
I think good people can take her place. And when they
Yeah.
take her place, John comes back into it and
Atkinson.
but becomes the symbol. Atkinson can't be that person. We need to find a way for Atkinson to effectively repent. We know we do. There has to be some sort of angle for it. I Here's the thing about shows, right? Characters fall, characters rise up all the time, don't they? Now, I think
Yeah.
Atkinson is in an incredibly difficult position because while there is justification for what happened in Reach and stuff like that, we know this. We know this. He is an important figure and he must suffer the consequences for that. Now, how we get to those consequences and so on, I do worry the show might be a little lazy about it, and I'm not sure I will be satisfied with it. But it won't be the first time that we've watched, use the Star Wars analogy, right? And people kind of joke about it all the time, don't they? So Anakin kills his boss. Does that make up for all the shit he did before, right? Obviously, the writing of Star Wars says yes, it does. Does it
Well,
though?
he killed
He
plenty of young
killed
men.
kids. He killed kids,
I know.
right? And
Yeah.
I mean that's always a problem with redemption stories, right?
Yeah.
Now, the way a good redemption story often works for me, right? If I can share my, because I love Damon, I really love a good redemption story, but a
Yeah.
good redemption story often has to end with sacrifice. Like, e.g., I was a villain once. I want to atone for what I've done, but I can never fully atone. So I kind of have to sacrifice myself in a way that at least shows that I tried, right? Now,
Mm.
that I'm not saying apply that to Atkinson because it doesn't really work. It's not like he's a soldier or anything like that.
Yeah.
But what if, let's put some out there ideas, right? Let's throw some out there ideas. What if um his penance, his thing is obviously the public face of Atkinson. Right. Do you agree with me that the public face of Atkinson has to fall? The public face, how the public view him in this world.
I mean, it all depends, obviously, what the public think of him. Because I mean, obviously, I'm presuming that
Okay,
he's the face of everything.
he's the face. He's the face of the Spartan program.
Mm.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase it in a way. Right, Ackerson, Parangoski, everyone in the upper chains of the Oni and UNSC has to fall, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of them, which includes Ackerson. He's the head of the Spartan program.
Hmm.
He is the one that was doing speeches to the UNSC. There it is. We kind of overlook that. He will never be able to command again because what soldier would follow his orders?
It all depends on what he does to redeem himself.
What do you right? Okay, so you tell me what he can do to redeem himself because I'm really struggling to
Um,
see a route back for redemption here.
I can only think. I said I can see a couple of things. You know,
Go
I can
on.
see maybe that he brings Parangoski down, he just completely brings her down,
What do
or
you mean?
maybe
No, but what do you mean he brings her down? He can't bring her down without bringing himself down. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's not because if he points at Pangos and says she's to blame, that just makes him look like that's even more to me. That's even more villainous because again, guess what he's because remember John talks about this episode responsibility,
Mhm.
taking responsibility. Ackerson, by trying to say it's Parangoski's fault, he absolves himself of responsibility, and it's the same thing as a soldier saying I was ordered to do it. You have to take some responsibility because that's what this season's been about, right? Taking
Yeah, yeah, cool.
responsibility. But it's also where we're leading in regards to John realizing that he has to take responsibility as a leader. I
Hmm.
That's what I think anyway. Because there's a thing that he does at the end of this episode that leads me to believe um leads me to believe he's still doing his I'm not responsible. I have a mission. I'm John and I must complete this because of personal reasons, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think the last episode's going to walk that back a bit. That's my prediction in the last episode. I think he is going to abandon his mission to go to the ring. And I think he's going to go back and help the Spartan 3 program, help Kai, help them because they're going to get fucked up.
Yeah, I got that impression too. But well, one of the other things I was thinking with Atkinson was I was thinking that maybe he'll risk his life to save John. Maybe he'll push John out of the way and get killed, and
I
doing so.
reckon. Right. Let me be a writer for a moment, yeah? And I'm going to go ahead. Okay. So, I would not touch anything to do with Parangoski, and sorry, to do with Ackerson again in this season. Him being led out because he's a let's finish the last little bit and then we'll talk, yeah?
Yeah.
Because we see Miranda unlocking the scientist's device, and then we kind of get a closing montage showing Chief walking through the base and revealing himself to soldiers that are about. And it's their reaction to it. And him looking at the posters. That's why I was like, it's beginning to sink in that
Hmm.
Master Chief is a symbol. He is bigger. What Master Chief stands for and what it can do, the character is more important than I'm John and I'm angry because I was treated bad. Do you see what I mean? Like, I think he's going to realize that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And then obviously we see Ackerson basically standing up the Parangoski before he's arrested. Yes, it's about fucking time. Should have done this a little while ago, mate. That's my thing. And lastly, we see the Spartan Threes heading to the battle, led by Kai as they're going towards the fleet. And we see John in his ship approaching the Halo as he looks upon the ring. And like I said, I'm very much convinced that John is going to realize, because basically, I reckon he's going to hear across the radio the sound of death and destruction as the Spartans are basically being wrecked. And he's going to do I do do I do I do what almost what Parangoski wants me to do, or do I just stick with the people that need me?
See, I thought that too, but then I thought that isn't the Covenant fleet coming to the ring too? So surely they're all going to meet there anyway.
Yeah, but they're,
Or
they're, they're not going to stop. They're not going to carry on to the fucking ring while
Hmm.
while the UNSC is there. That's a
Yeah,
war.
yeah, while they're
That
attacking, yeah.
someone wins or loses here, and then we
mm,
carry on to the ring after. Do you know what I mean? That's what this is. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Like, but also think about the sight, and this is why I got it. Think about the sight of Master Chief arriving in his ship, coming across
mm.
the comms and announcing that he's here to help. Imagine
Yeah,
the soldiers just going, fucking hell, Chief's here. Like, that's what this, I think that's what's really, really important. And he's going to realize that's important too. I think it's so important that he can be a cog in the machine, the UNSC machine, but he can
yeah.
also be a leader. He has always been a member of Silver Team, but he's been not in command. I think the future is John in command. So here we go. I'm typing.
Mhm.
I think that um, we come back in season 3 with, and it depends what happens a little bit with basically the entire upper brass of the UNSC has been torn down. Everyone has been arrested. People are in prison. People have gone to court, like old military stuff, and they're in prison. It's not about executions or anything like that. It's about prison sentences. Parangoski's in prison. So is Atkinson. Or everyone is. No, Damon, you're smiling because I know you really want him in. But let me finish what I'm saying. And so on. Everyone is in prison. I stand by what I'm saying, that because of Atkinson's knowledge of the Spot-On program, there is a way for him back. And because of that, because he does care about and all that. But ultimately, there has to, and remember this, right? Think public and private. Think now. Think almost in our own governments and hire. How often do CEOs, right? A CEO fails at his job at, say, EA. EA loses loads of money and he gets fired.
Mhm.
What are the chances that CEO turns up in a brand new job at Activision all the time?
Yeah.
You never really disappear. You kind of just get moved sideways. When you're powerful and important, you get moved sideways.
Yeah.
I think the UNSC can pin everything on Parangoski and publicly destroy the reputations of everybody and say, look, they're held responsible, so that people don't riot, people don't fucking get angry and say, look, we have held the people responsibly. But privately, behind closed doors, can still find a way to make it work. I don't think
Yeah.
it'll be Parangoski. I think she's probably going to go too far, but I think it will work for Atkinson. However, Chief ain't going to trust him. Chief ain't going to want to work with him at all
Mhm.
until Atkinson starts to prove otherwise.
Of course.
That
Yeah.
will
Of course.
be that story there. That is way to go. But I also think, wouldn't it be cool if there was a way that Atkinson's, what they do with Atkinson, right? Rating, is destroy him. Not kill him, destroy him to the point where he is nobody. He's just a face on the street. He loses his job and all that. So he enrolls. Now, this is an out there, like I said, a very out there. He enrolls in the UNSC as basic military, wanting to do his part in a way that like just gives back as much as he possibly can. And through that, we kind of follow a redemption of that character. Now, that's
Like
a
a spy.
very long, what? No, because he can't be a Spartan.
Mm.
A basic grunt soldier. Something not as a Spartan. No, that would be silly, I think. And even
Mm.
my idea, I think, is a bit silly. But I'm just saying, what if that was an idea like, like that? Here's, do you want my honest opinion? I think really, I think this is it. I think we'll either in the next season we'll hear, like, I think it's probably it for him,
Mm.
Parangoski, and all of them, as they're all arrested and put in prison, and that's the last we see. That's it. That's what I generally think.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yeah.
And
Uh,
while I will miss the character, and I'll think maybe could have done more with him, I will be okay with that because it's correct, right?
mm.
You kind of just got to sit and go, yeah, okay, that's the correct way of doing things, yeah. You know what I mean? Even if you don't like it, sometimes you got
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
go, I mean, that's the thing about shows as well, and films and all that. It's not written for us personally. So
No,
like
of course not.
you might desperately want him to, I don't know, like you want him to, you want him to be like rehabilitated or reborn to a degree that he leads the Spartan program or
I
something.
mean, it's there's two ways I'd like to see her to go with him.
Go on.
Either one, he obviously somehow redeems himself, and somehow I don't know, whatever. Either he
Right,
goes
stop.
to the battle.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna interrupt you. There's the problem. You say somehow he redeems himself. I need you to give me a genuine way, a real way that could make sense for him to redeem himself. That's the problem. Is we're stuck. This is what I think we're
Mm.
kind of stuck on as character. Is that I don't think we can, either of us together, can really come up with a believable, satisfying, and fair way for him to be redeemed. Like,
I
that's the
mean,
problem.
the only way they could do it really is if they've haven't revealed information that he might know something that hasn't been revealed yet, but then that would
Right.
be lazy.
That's yeah, you're absolutely right. You would have to add something brand new in that
Mhm.
somehow makes it okay. And
Yeah.
that not only is lazy, I would be angry at the show for doing that. Like
Mhm.
I think the show this season has tried to be as sensible as it can be in a world of space and aliens and this and we can you know what I mean, like all of that. Like they've tried to be as sensible as possible. I think what they potentially have done, whether they like it or not, and like I said, maybe they have no choice, is sometimes when you write characters, you write them into a brick wall. You
Mm.
write them there's no way they can go because they're up against that wall and you've run out of room. And it's often when characters get killed off. The Walking Dead used to do this a lot. It would
A
write a
lot, yeah.
character into a brick wall. So they were like, well, kill him. And that's basically what, and like that's what happens.
Mm.
Uh, I feel like but I feel like they've not just done that with Ackerson. They've done it with Parangoski as well. She's not quite at the brick wall, but she's running headfirst at it, and it's coming up. That's why I think she's gone from the show after this season as well.
Do you think she gets killed though in the last episodes? Like
I don't
a
really
ship,
see how she can be.
her ship blows. I don't know. Her ship blows up. I guess it's destroyed and then attacked.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
she's
know.
no, but no, she's at the back. She's not on a ship.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, oh
She's at
yeah.
Onyx
She's not
base.
attacked. Yeah.
Remember, that's why she's the villain. She's
Mm.
sitting comfortably in her tent, sipping champagne, while 5 miles up the road at the goddamn trenches, the troops are
Mm.
going over the fucking trench to be shot by
Yeah.
a wall of guns. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what the problem is.
Mm.
Um, I don't think that. What I think happens. Do you want right? I mean, we love doing this. I think the war room turns against her. I think people stop following her orders. They start to look at her as she starts screaming and demanding things to happen, and more troops are thrown at them. I think you start to get, when you get those characters to start going like that. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
she's, I think she's arrested. I think she's got guns held to her as basically a mutiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's,
That is possible.
yeah. But I also think this is likely to be it. But no, I mean, no, I think we've probably had all the deaths we're gonna get. I don't really see anyone dying in the last episode.
Yeah, I can't see Kai or anything like dying. It'd be too much. I mean, obviously, we're still. I don't know if we're going to see people like Riz again. If they're done.
A new
If,
season. I think further down the line, I'm not. I think that story here. I think we said this at the time. I'm happy if we never see Riz again. The
yeah,
story
yeah.
ended, right? Like it can end there, and I like the idea of just being like, "Oh yeah, do you remember Riz? Yeah, I hope she's living happy, right?"
She was at peace. She was at peace.
Yeah, that sometimes that's more than okay.
Mhm.
But ultimately, like I said, I mean, look how long we've already been talking for. Again, and part of the reason is because this episode has so much going on,
Yeah.
and moves like it's chess in it. It's these pieces are being moved here, there, wherever, and now what we're seeing is certain pieces are being taken off the board because they've
Hmm.
been like whatever, and other ones are moving into. We're almost at checkmate if you want, or check, not checkmate, no, because the game isn't over. We're at
Hmm.
check where the pieces are going to be stuck and there aren't many moves left. That's what it is, very much so. But it does make for a thrilling conversation. I think I think it's really interesting. I think it's fascinating that you and I debate probably more than any character in a show to date. Like of all the shows we've covered, and we've covered a lot, and we've had debates. We debate Ackerson more than any other, and that to me is fascinating because he's
Hmm.
new in this season.
I know. Yeah, yeah. He's only been in like 5 episodes.
I just, man, why did you? If he, you know what? If he just didn't take the suits, He had argued for them least leaving the suits, and maybe he'd
Mm.
been, and we'd seen a scene where he was told, well, we're taking him, whether you like it or not. I could
Yeah.
be a little more warm to him. I'm warm to the cat character because I think, oh, he's got layers,
Mm.
layers, and I like the actor as well. But man, oh man, I'm not where you are. We are at two different places here.
Well,
I am a firm believer in redemption can only happen. Redemption can only happen when you have been punished. It's why I suppose, why we send people to prison, right? That's the idea, right? That's the
I,
idea.
I haven't told you my Soren
Go
theory.
on. Yeah, go on. Throw it out
So,
there.
so obviously, during the episode, obviously, it reveals Soren reveals to Liara that he didn't actually want to kill Halsey. He's kind of missing her, sort of like sort of thing. So I'm going to make a very very random prediction that Soren is going to join the fight as a Spartan again, and he's going to be killed because he can't let go. It's in his head now. He can't let go.
I have no reason to. I find Soren difficult to predict. I think you've got
Mm,
some really good points there. We did kind of gloss over that, but yeah, you're absolutely right. The conversation he has where I almost wanted to see. I think it's like he wanted to see if he'd be welcomed back.
mm,
It's why he's asked so many questions to Halsey. He's almost looking for a justification. He is a Spartan, and I don't think he can get away from that. I think
yeah,
it's. I might remember earlier on in this video I talked about Perez. Truth be told, that's too out there. I think it's maybe more likely because you saying it gave me the idea. More likely that Soren could take Vanek's place in Silver Team. I could see
yeah,
him saying to
possible.
Liara, "Look, I need to go do this. I need to do this to free myself of the demons that I
Mm,
have on my head. I will be back, but you know what I mean, in some way and all that. And then for a period, I don't necessarily I don't want to jump to death because I don't see how we get there yet. But I do think there is a real possibility that he rejoins or joins Silver Team or joins up with John um for a period, you know? But I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
Doesn't he still have his own armor? Or no, he probably lost that, didn't it? The UNSC. No, because when he got captured, the UNSC probably took it, didn't they?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say he took it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think there's a direction to go with Soren that could be interesting. And like I said before, I really like the character. I really
Mm.
like the character. What
I
do you
hope.
think? Go on.
I was gonna say, I hope in season three that we sort of like step away from this Kessler bullshit. Yeah, because I'm not really
Feeling it.
enjoying that. Yeah, I'm not going because I don't want to see that. Oh, Kessler's gone from age 8 to age 18. He's now a Spartan. He's now fighting with John. Because it'll make no sense. He's about 6 7 years. No, he's about maybe about 8 9 years old.
Yeah, maybe a little older, maybe 10, 11, or 12, maybe pre-teen, maybe. I'm not sure truth be told.
Yeah, exactly. So and as you said before, we have no where every other character we have emotional baggage with them. Him we have nothing at all.
Yeah. He is a difficult. I agree. It's yeah, exactly what I said earlier on. We just not spent enough time with the character. In fact, in season two, he really they try to make a bit more prominent in season two, but each time, most of it was he doesn't really say anything. Spoke to Quan and kind of just runs away and looks scared most of the time. And I get he's a kid, of course he is, but like it don't exactly make for the most thrilling watch, does it?
No, and half the time he's wearing Chief's helmet or the fake one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What are we focusing on in the last episode?
Big battle, big
No,
battle.
mate, you can't fucking give me a lazy answer like that. We have clear things. Are we focusing on the Halo ring? Are we focusing on the battle with the fleet? Are we jumping between the two? Who's getting to the Halo ring? How is that part going? What's your thoughts there?
I think it's gonna be a lot of jumping backwards and forwards between Kai and John um, Ackerson in his cell waving.
But you think he's going to have a part to play in the last episode?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it'll be mainly Paragoski, Kai, John, possibly Soren making his way there, or he might already be on his way there. Obviously, the blessed McKee and God, his bloody name now,
The
the Harbinger.
Arbiter.
The Harbinger, the Harbinger, yeah.
That's a Mass Effect. That's a Mass Effect guy. Close enough. Harbinger, Arbiter, quite similar. I think you're absolutely right. I think we'll end up cutting between everything. I think you've nailed it there. I think it'll be Parangosky in the war room. I think it'll be the battle with the fleet. I think it'll be John making his way to the Halo, but also, like I said, changing his mind. I do think that's something that's going to happen. I think it's McKee and Arbiter that. Do you remember my prediction that the show should perhaps end, the season should end? We're potentially not showing us the flood, but showing us something that leads there. And I like the idea of McKee standing in front of a big door, it opening, and it being dark. And the camera zooming into that darkness, and maybe we hear noises, and then we end. Like that to me is like, ooh, do you know what I mean? Like that's a good cliffhanger. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. That's what I want, though. That's what I want. I'm not necessarily saying it because I can't. Do you know what I can't work out? If that happens, well, what about the fleet battle? If someone hits that spike, everything is wiped out. So, like, but if you don't hit that spike, the Covenant aren't just going to stop fight. I mean, like, I don't really get it.
That's the thing. It's going to be like a big alarm though, and everyone just stops and looks towards the Halo ring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like some. The only thing I could think is maybe the battle stops because of the Halo. Maybe it sets a surge out. I don't know, but like. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I'm excited to find out, though. And here's the thing, Damon. I would be okay if Ackerson is in the last episode in some way. I would be okay with it if they find a way to do it. Just for me to stick to your defenses and your love of this character. If they find a way to do it, I'll be totally fine. All I wanted them to do it is a way that I find satisfying. But here's the thing: if I don't find it satisfying, and you do, and others do. That's good. It just means it wasn't for me. That's the thing. You know what I mean? And sometimes things aren't, that aren't always for us. Like I said, it's easy to forget when you're really enjoying the show. They're not writing it for you personally. I've watched many shows where the writing has gone in a way that I've gone, this ain't for me, and I'm not going to watch it anymore. Do you know what I mean? Walking Dead was one of that. I switched off that 10 seasons ago when I realized the writing wasn't really doing it for me, and I was like, you know what, I don't really enjoy this, I'm going to stop watching it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of and I'm not one of those people that will force myself to watch a show just because I've been watching it up to that point because I need to see it end. And I give an example: if Halo season 3 came along and it was dog shit, I mean really bad, and it was doing shit I did not like, aside from me watching it for this reason, for our they made what into a TV series show, if we weren't doing that, I would not carry on watching it. There's a show called Sweet Home on Netflix. Do you know it?
Yep.
Sweet Home. So I watched season 1 and I thought it was good, that kind of thing. Nice little monster, Korean monster TV show. I watched the first episode of season 2. And I hated it. I mean, I didn't just dislike it. I hated it. I bloody hated it, Damon. Like that, I went, nope, not watching anymore. Like that, because it's rare that I watch something where immediately I go, oh my God, I hate this. This is awful. And I didn't love the first season. I liked it. So it was like, oh, I'm not watching that anymore. And it would apply to Halo except for the reason we do this. Because as long as Halo exists and as long as we're doing this series, which we will continue to do for the foreseeable future, we will cover it. But we've got way off fucking topic here. We're just talking in general. This is more for after the last episode, when we're going to look back at the whole show overall and up to this point. So let's call it time on this, because we've done what we always do and talk for way too bloody long. This was episode 7, the penultimate episode of season 2, Halo, Thermopylae. You got any thoughts on all the shit we've said? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.